we've got a leadership development program. I'll just tell you real briefly how it works. We recruit at 100-plus colleges, college campuses nationwide. We've got a team that goes in. This is all they do. They recruit. They interview on a local level, and they come up with 10 to 15 candidates out of each recruiting cycle, and those recruits go to our companies, and they get interviewed. That's about a 6 or 8 hour interview process per candidate. They're interviewed by the president, the plant manager, the controller, salespeople. I mean, they spend a whole day at our companies. A lot of times we're flying them in from out of town, putting them up overnight. And today we've got well over 300 leadership development or associates, as we call them, in our program. That they basically spend their first 3 years learning the business hands-on. Okay, their first rotation is 6 months going through the plant, spending a half a day to 2 or 3 days in each department. Then they spend 6 months in accounting, doing accounts payable. Then they spend 6 months in customer service, doing customer service, handling jobs. 6 months in estimating, doing estimates. 6 months in shipping jobs out. 6 months in the press room. Now, and 6 months in sales. So after 3 years, they're fully rounded. It's not like, they're not sitting in an office with a phone and a computer on the 17th floor in a 2x4 cubicle, talking on the phone and responding to emails all day. They're in the business. I mean, they're collecting invoices. They're paying invoices. They're figuring out, how to take advantage of the discounts that the vendors, whatever it is. I mean, they're in the middle. They're in the heat of the fire for 3 years. Okay, we get those associates together on an annual basis at a 4-day meeting, and we see what they have. We stay in communication with them. We talk to the presidents. How is Sally doing? How's Susie doing? How's whatever. And when they're ready, okay, at the end of 3 years, they decide what they want to do. They decide if they want to go into sales or if they want to go into production. And sometimes they raise their hand and say, hey, I think I'm ready to run a company. And we talk to them about it. And we've got out of 70 presidents, 11 have come out of this leadership development program. When we hire them on, we give them some stock options. They're hard working. And, I tell all the presidents, when you get these leadership development, these associates into your company, you basically want to throw so much at them every day that you're almost saying, can you handle it? Do you want to quit? You work them hard, and you develop them in our leadership style. You develop them to be hardworking, smart, creative individuals, and you don't give them any slack. You work them hard. You've got to be a college graduate who has not had another job since graduating. So if you graduate from college and take a job for a year at Pepsi, and after a year you decide you want to get into our program, you're ineligible. Okay, you've got to be right out of college. It's your first job. You've got to have a 3.0 or better. Okay, we prefer the graduates that have paid for their own school versus the trust funders. Most of the trust funders don't work out too well.
Our management team is made up of both individuals who started at entry level. In fact, all of my production supervision is of individuals who started at entry level and have been promoted within the organization. And so I try to stress to them that their opportunity came because of the work we're doing. And they can choose to stay or they can choose to move on if that's their choice. In fact, we see it as a win if someone moves on to something that fits their life better, if it's a positive step in their life. So I don't see that as a loss or that we lose something. Obviously, there are people that shared life with, who, when they leave the organization, I miss them, but I see it as a success for them if they move on to something that fits their life better. We just started a management training program for all of our managers at Greyston Bakery. So literally once a week we provide an hour and a half of training with them, and so it started about 4 weeks ago. Prior to that, well, actually I would say 18 months prior to that, I did do a whole heck of a lot as we were moving from our old facility to our new facility. But prior to that, I established a program around assistant supervisors in training. And so we would work with them, identify individuals who had a skill set, who showed some aptitude for leadership, and then begin to work with them and give them some additional skills so that they can go on to become supervisors. And out of that program, we promoted 5 different supervisors, and so very happy and pleased with the results there. But I also believe we needed to do more formal work with them. And so, as I said, we've established now a training program. So we have a management meeting once a week. They all come to that. We do that for an hour, and then we shift gears over into a training program with them. We work with them for about an hour and a half. We have some people internal to Greyston providing modules on that. We have some outside people coming in. And occasionally I'll have occasion to preach rather than simply teach and talk a little bit about the mission and why we exist and why we're here and some of the theory behind some of the policies that we have.